Oops, let me make sure my audio is up on the YouTube stream. All right, double checking there. Okay, we're good. We're good. All right, so yeah, the Electric Dreams project file is like a really cool kind of mountainous landscape, super impressive. But you can click on any of these files and it'll open up here to create a project, and it'll create a brand new file so that you could dive in and look around at. So oops, I installed the wrong one this morning. That's okay. I'll get there, but if you install the different version of Unreal, no big deal. It's okay. Yeah. As Angie said, you could change it later, but don't worry. It's kind of more of an interface thing with buttons. Some buttons might be moved around, but for the most part, it's pretty much the same. But yeah, let's keep looking here at the samples. So, again, all kinds of interesting stuff. Metahumans, that's another really cool thing just for like super realistic human avatars. And just the city sample, this is really cool. I believe this was from a project from The Matrix Awakens. Anyone getting double audio? Oops, let me see. Never mind. All right, did it go away? Oh yeah, you might want to lower the volume on one. Yeah, but yeah. Let me know if you're getting any user fail. It's all good, Croc. I'd rather know if something's happening. Yeah, I had YouTube open. Okay. Hey, I appreciate you supporting on both ends. You know what I mean? He's hitting that double time. Look at that. He's dedicated. Yes, on YouTube. Yeah. So the YouTube link provided, you will find a recording later. Once we end this stream, it'll be recorded there. Yep. But yeah, anyway, sample projects, super cool stuff just to kind of get you going. It's very inspiring. And yeah, just a way to see, how bigger projects are assembled using different techniques. So the main page, though, is a library. This is your Unreal Engine library. If you have projects, they will be displayed here down at the bottom in these little boxes right here, and it'll show the engine version number next to it. So if you have 5.2, 5.4, whatever, so on and so forth, they will be displayed on the side. Don't worry about these with the long serial numbers. Those are actually ODK files being displayed here, but we have to use the ODK launcher to run those. But essentially, your project files will be stored here. Twinmotion is an architectural thing, so we won't really be using this. But if you're into architecture, hey, take a look at this. Reality Scan, this is for scanning 3D assets, so you can use an app to scan things and bring them into the game. We won't be using this right now, but super cool. Check that out. And lastly, let's go back to the library real quick. So you can see up here engine versions. These are the Unreal versions that I have installed on my computer. But if you want to install a newer version, you can click the little plus button. This will bring up a blank little template here. And then you could choose a version of Unreal that you need, all the way back to Unreal 4, which I don't know why you would need it right now at the moment, unless you're trying to do something specific or for a build. But the only time I use older versions is, I'll explain, is when I'm in the Fab Marketplace, which I'll show you just in a moment. You might find old projects that seem interesting, and you're like, oh man, this is cool. There's like cool blueprints set up here, or there's like cool characters or an environment. Well, when you download those asset packs or things from the marketplace, you might have to open it in an older version of Unreal. So this is kind of one of the reasons why I have a bunch of older versions as well, is because I needed to open an older file and it only worked in 5.3 or 5.4, something like that. So you usually want to stick with the latest. In our case, we're using 5.5. But you can downgrade to previous versions in case you want to open an old file. And so now you'll download and install here, right? You'll choose your version and you hit the install button and you'll have that version there. You can set your like default version if you want. So you can like hit the little down arrow here on any of these. You can hit set current, and you see this little yellow border around the version here. That means that that is my current like default version of Unreal. So if I like just open Unreal Engine right away, it would open to this version. So you could do that to any of these and just kind of hit set current. You can create shortcuts. You can remove them here. If it's acting buggy at any point in time and it's like giving you issues, like it's not running well, you can actually hit the verify button, and that'll look through your files and see if anything's missing or broken or corrupted, and it'll clean that up for you. So now we go to Fab. How we looking? How we sounding? Oh, Linkwood. Hello, Linkwood. Welcome in. Nice, nice. We're looking good on YouTube. Honeybee says, "Is this the real El Tropical Papi?" Yeah, yeah. I guess so for today. For today. Thanks for joining, fam. Good to see you, Honeybee. Awesome, awesome. All right. So now we're in the Fab Marketplace. So this is gonna be like probably the thing you check in on every day, I would say. And the reason for that is because of this limited time free content. So every couple of weeks yeah, what's up? Oh my god. is this is kind of true. Yeah, yeah. You can So yeah, fair warning. You can wish list as much stuff as you want, but you're gonna have to be careful because it will fill up over a period of time. But there's so much amazing free stuff here to claim. So if I go to here, limited time free section, you can just claim this stuff. It's free. So they put up free items, usually three items, every couple of weeks. So it'll tell you the due date here, by when you should grab it. So you just come in here and you can go to buy now. Then it'll add it to your project files. So yeah, free stuff, Dev. Free stuff. We all love free stuff. Free loot for your gaming needs. All right, let's go back to the front of the marketplace here. So again, you can scroll down and find just like featured stuff. Yeah, look at all those emojis for free stuff. Everybody's excited about that. They do run sales, so you can come in here and find this on sale category, which you'll find some decent stuff. But they do run like summer sales, spring sales, things like that. So you can find even more stuff at really decent prices. Up to you, and your wallets. Definitely wait for those sales so that you can get this, the best stuff for the best price. Obviously, we love to support artists and devs and creators. So if you feel you really need something, hey, jump on it. But there does come some days when there's some really decently priced stuff, some really quality stuff. The Jigglenomics are during the summer sale, Honeybee. So yeah, take a look for that. Yeah, wait for the sale. There you go, Lecoid. Let them know. All right, so on the left side, you'll have product types, so you can look through a variety of things. So there's like characters and creatures. Boom, it'll hit you with everything you could possibly need here. There's clothing and accessories for your characters. What else do we have? Environments, that's my favorite one. So you can find all sorts of environments here to download. You have anything on Fab? No, I personally don't have anything on Fab for sale. I never got onto the marketplace. I have modeled stuff for people in teams and things, but that's content always gets used for, for games. So it ends up being owned by that, studio or whatever. And so, yeah, not really allowed to sell it, unfortunately. Yo, Jembatu, hey. Welcome in. Yo, check out Jem Batu's work when he gets a chance to like share it. He's working on a really interesting game, so definitely don't miss out on when he's creating super cool stuff. So you have to read the licenses, Dev. So some of this stuff, Right. Obviously, it's for sale. So yeah, most of the stuff you can use in a commercial project. But still, just please read the license on these things just to make sure you're utilizing it correctly. You just want to be safe. You don't want to get hit with something later on. You just want to make sure you're understanding the uses of these things. But right, yes, this is essentially for commercial stuff. So right, you buy it, you're owning it for your game. Yeah. So let's say you really like a pack. Yes, very important. So you come in here, you're really excited about it, and you go ahead and buy it, and you want to add it to your project. So you can choose a format on some of these, but most of them will be default to Unreal Engine. You can download the files, but sometimes they'll prevent you from doing that, and they want you to just keep it inside Unreal Engine. So in this case, it'll say add to project. So if you're adding to a project, it's going to look for an Unreal file to add it to. So sometimes you want to, we'll add it to an existing file. You won't, if it says create a project with it, it'll create a brand new Unreal Engine file. If it says add to project, you're going to add it to something that's already existing. So there's 3 different methods on how to acquire these things. So again, download would be just getting the assets, like the 3D models, the textures, all that stuff directly. But then you can do an add to project, which is adding it to an existing Unreal Engine file that you already opened and created. And then create a project would say here to add it to a brand new Unreal Engine file. It'll bring up a whole new file for you. Yeah, this dungeon pack is awesome, Hannah. Yeah, super, super cool. I had to grab this one. I'm going to be honest, I think it was part of some free things. So respect to the developers, but I did grab it. I think it was during one of the free week things. But yeah, stuff like this is super cool. Yeah, you have this one too? Nice. Yes, dungeons. I mean, dungeons are just every gamer's favorite environment, you know? It's the OG environment. It's where it all began, you know? I can, and then say no managed. Yeah, you might want to double check on that, J Doc. Yeah. Yes, James with the 100, the dungeon environments. What could that mean? I don't know. I think I know an Ape Chain project that has a dungeon environment, possibly, maybe. I don't know. How late are you to this? We're wrapping things up, Dino. So, yeah. Maybe next. Yeah, maybe next year. Check in next year. All good. All right. So let's say we just started. We're going through the launcher just so you can get full benefit of this thing, because the launcher is there's a lot of cool stuff in here that you could take advantage of. So we just want to kind of get through that real quick. So one last thing. Let's say you get this, you're happy with it. Where does it go? Right? You buy it. How can you see this later? So I buy this and I exit out and I'm done for the day. How do we find it later? So you go to my library. You can actually find your assets here. Another way to find it is yeah, you can add it to projects here directly with the little plus button, things like that. But you can also go back to your Unreal Engine tab and you scroll down to the bottom under My Projects. You can find everything you own. And you'll see here all those labels here. Add to project, create a project. And if it has a little down arrow, it'll give you some options here for some things. If they're installed, you can delete them, things like that. So all the stuff, so you can see here everything over time that I've downloaded and have purchased, everything. Oh, my cat is going crazy in the background. You can hear. All right. So, yeah, pretty cool. So you can get everything you need, and it'll be here in your Unreal Engine library, from your engine versions to your projects themselves, down to your fab library. So always come in before you launch Unreal, double check on it. Yeah, meow, yep. That's her. She had some food a little while ago, so she's just going crazy still. This is her second Zoomy. Yeah. And then she downloaded Unreal Engine 5.5.4. Successful. Wait, the one in the bottom, third row, second to last. No, no, honeybee. That is not a strip club. I promise. Yeah. Yes. Your cat could do it. Let's keep focusing on Unreal. Let's not get distracted. All right. Let's open up Unreal now. So if you're in your project right now, we're gonna start pushing buttons, and I basically just want to show you the interface here. So let's see where you're at. So if you're following along, we're gonna drop in some objects and show you around the interface as well. So to begin, how many people here have no idea, have never opened Unreal or have not touched the interface at all? So I know where we're at. Say me in the chat. me. I don't even know my own name. Damn. Damn, look at all those me's. Nice. Me. Yeah. All right, this is good. Thank you so much for entertaining me with that. Yeah, this is good. Me, I open and that's it. Okay, what's Unreal? Where are you? Yeah. Okay, so all right, when you open Unreal, all right, so let's go. All right, you launch the engine, right? You go to library. You click on your launch the project here. You'll be met with a screen where you download a third-person template, right? That's where we're at on all these gifs. So I mean, I would do the Fab UE one, Quixel Bridge, Croc. You don't really have to. I think it's like another. It's like another marketplace for well, the bridge itself helps you bring stuff over from Quixel. I don't use Quixel so much these days. Fab has been kind of just my go-to, but stuff on Quixel used to be free, but I don't think it is anymore. So you don't have to do it right now. You could download it later. Yeah. So you could do blank template. Alethera. Yeah. So games and actually go to third person template. Let me see. I don't think it'll bug out. Let me run this. Let me get the launcher going real quick, and so I can show you. But yeah, go to games and then third person template. Let's see. No. I just want to show Alethea had a question. So this right here. So this is what you're asking about, right? Yes. Okay. So when you launch Unreal, right? I launched 5.5.4 from there. This is the project browser. You can open something that's currently existing that you have, or you could go to games for a new project, and you want to launch third person because that's where we're at. This one is just fun because it feels like a game. You can hit the play button and jump right in and run around, and it's not a big deal. So, but yeah, go to third person. Make sure the blueprint is ticked or selected. We're on desktop. Quality preset. You could just leave all this default. Starter content. It'll make the file larger, but it starts you off with some extra assets. I think is nice. So, definitely check that on if you just want to have a few extra things to mess around with. It'll just give you assets to kind of have fun with. I kicked the blue box over the edge. Yeah, that's part of it. It's part of the experience. From here, you can browse for a folder to where to put your project. Let me give some emojis there to Pamela. She found the physics boxes. Awesome. And then you can name the project and then hit create. And you give it a moment, give it some time, and you'll pop up here, right? So that's the process, right? So we had the launcher. We launched the version here. We were met with that window. We went to games, third-person template, and found a place to save it, and then hit create. And after, shaders load and all this stuff, it takes a little while, I'm not going to lie. It takes just a few minutes depending on your PC. And you'll just land here suddenly. And this is where you'll be. And this is how it starts you off. So right away, Yeah, we did it. All right, yeah, we're done. Everybody go home. You created your first project. All right, so sorry, so let's take a look at where we're at. So we're inside of a level. This is where it's still loading. Oof, TJ. Oof. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna take you a minute. That's right. Is the hamster in your computer running quickly? Is it fed? Does it have a water bottle? Still, yeah, you're. I see that little cigarette emoji. I'm just thinking your hamster's stopping to smoke a cigarette, and before it keeps running. I wish my environments looked this good. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So, uh, at the top, you'll see third person map. So this is your level. This is like basically where your environment exists inside of this level file. Third person map. And probably the main important thing to look at, right, besides the objects in your editor here, is like how they kind of correspond to this outline on their side, the outliner here. So when I click on an object, you can see it represented here on the right. This outliner is going to be something you will interact with so much, right? This is kind of how you organize things. You could see here things are organized in folders as well. And this is also super important. You know, organization for the sake of like not going insane is going to be super important for you, because after, you know, building a larger environment, you're going to have a lot of assets and you're going to want to organize them in a specific way that makes sense to you. So you could see here for block one, you know, all of these assets are inside of it, and I can move, if I have them all selected, I can move them. So that's kind of how the outliner works, is that when you place an object inside of your editor here, which is basically the window that I'm looking inside, it'll pop up here in your outliner. So, and let's take a look at how that works. My organization is non-existent. Oof, oof. You know, if you don't have good organization skills or a little bit of OCD, oof, good luck. You're going to go insane after some time. All right, so you're like, okay, how do I get these objects into the editor? Yeah, TJ, if your ADHD is real, you're gonna have a good time here organizing all these things, which is probably why I enjoy Unreal so much and working in it. There's a lot of little things to look at and organize. Yeah. Yes, Dino, you absolutely can. So you can search for it, but at the same time, if you have a bunch of random assets spread everywhere, I don't know, you're going to have a bad time too, because they also go into like alphabetical order. So it's not about dragging them where you want them to be. It's about organizing them through folders, so that you don't go insane later. Uh, oh, Haifa hitting us with them quotes. What is it? Albert Einstein didn't tie his shoes, yet he was a genius or something. Something, 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 something. All right. So, yeah. Oh, no. Listen to Albert Einstein, everybody. Listen to Albert Einstein. Man is a genius. No, I'm getting hit with the Bob Ross gifs already. Damn. Uh, like Law came in with that amazing Bob Ross version of my ape. Respect, respect. Damn, Haifa. Haifa's a genius. My setup, sick. I like how you accidentally typed a 3 in there as well, just to show how insane. Yeah, I think he smokes cigarettes. All right, let's go back. Let's go back. Sorry, just have y'all distracting me. This is fun. This is fun. Low memory. Alethea, how much RAM does your computer have? You might want to. 24 gigs. Not enough. Yeah. Okay. I don't know. We're gonna have to investigate on that one. I don't know right away without looking a little deeper. But if it's saying if you have other things open, you could try closing them, obviously. But if you have no longer memory, Need to recover available memory. I don't know. You might have something with an allocation on your drive or something. But yeah, if you have other things open, close them. But yeah, that's all I can kind of think about at the moment without kind of looking further. Yeah, shit's hard. Yeah. All right. So we'll take a look. We'll take a look. All right. So let's keep looking around. So first things first, how the hell do you move around here? So when you right click into the editor, you can move your camera around. All right. So right clicking into the editor here, you can move your camera left to right, up, down. And if you're a gamer, thankfully, you're going to have a good time because while you're holding right click, you can hit WASD to move that camera around, right? So right click and hold is look. WASD is moving the camera itself. So you can look where you want to go and push W to push forward. Hit S to move backwards. A and D to move left and right. Right? So you can click on objects with the left click. Right? And then you can move around it. Again, right click and using WASD to look around. So that's all I'm doing there is to look around. And using the left click itself to click on objects. When you click on an object, you get this gizmo here, and you can move that gizmo or move the gizmo itself to move the object. All right. So you can move it up on the axis there, X and the Y axis here, or X is Z, and then Y, I believe is up on an Unreal. And so that's how you move objects around. You can click on any object, and it'll give you this little gizmo to move the object around in any direction like that. You can also, let's get one of these blocks here. It's a little easier to see. So let's look at the gizmo a little bit more. You'll notice that this gizmo, this little axis thing here, has these little lines on it. These little squares on each side. Each one locks like two axes together. So let's take a look at what that does. I'll explain that right in a second. So let's keep looking at the gizmo thing here. You see this? When I grab one of those squares, I can move it along two axes at the same time. Now let's look at this side. When I grab this one here, it moves it along those two axes at the same time. And now go up a little bit. And when I grab this square down here at the bottom, it moves it along those two axes at the same time. So this will allow you to move objects really quickly and easily along a floor. So, I like this square. I want to move it over here real quick, or over here, or here. That'll allow you to move that object super fast, super quickly. Or if you have something along a wall, maybe in a vertical position, you could grab it along that square there and move it along in that direction itself, going up and going down. So the gizmo here is pretty powerful just to move things around super quickly. So if you want to move something along where you're looking, along the camera, there's a little white ball in the middle. Let me zoom in on it. I can't zoom in too close, but there's a little tiny white ball there. So let's say you're looking at it and you want to move it along the camera's direction. You can click on that white ball and actually just move it around just like this. Well, you see that? You see that? All right. But if you want to move it along the specific axis, just use those arrows. And then the squares themselves to move it along a locked axis. Jem, it'll be on YouTube. So we're streaming to YouTube right now. Yeah. All right. So that's how you move some objects. Does that make sense, everybody? Is that, let me know if, for those who are following along, we do have a little bit of a slow mode on, so we don't get nothing but memes and GIFs. Okay. Sweet. All right. Very nice. So we know how to move around the camera. Right click in the editor here, look around with your mouse. Then while you're still right clicking and holding, move left and right with WASD. So A is to move left, D is to move right, W is to move forward, S is to move backwards. All right. And you could just zip around, right? So I'm looking and I'm holding W right now. I'm holding W and just looking with my camera, and I'm just zipping and flying around. I'm going to make y'all throw up here. It's going to be like a roller coaster ride. Discord pings in the background. All right. Let me see if I can lower my Discord pings real quick. Let me see. Yes. Okay, I think I did it. I think I did it. Uh, I think I did it on my volume mixer on my PC. There's two Discord volumes. Uh, yeah. Okay. Perfect. Perfect. All right. Test ping. Thank you, J Dunk. All right. Sweet. Sweet. Okay. So we learned how to move in the editor. You know what? I'm looking for a comment from Gma. Uh, uh, or Pamela. As I know Pamela was curious of learning, and so is Gma. So I'm making sure that they're caught up and understand. Yeah, Gma. The feeds are going to be different. It's just different platforms. All good. Don't worry. Just watch in one place, and you'll be safe. I see Pamela typing. All right, so we learn how to move in the editor, look around in the editor, right? So WASD to move, right click and hold in here to look around. So you can also left click and hold and push forward with your mouse and back with the mouse and then turn left and turn right. So this is like holding left click and moving around. All right. So this is different. There's a lot of different ways to look around, but my favorite though is right clicking and looking, moving the camera, and just using W to move forward, S to move backwards, and then AD to move left and right. All right, so let's put some objects into our environment and mess with the outliner a bit more. So at the top left, we have this little button up here. It's a little cube with a plus button. So when we click on it, we can go down to shapes and get some basic shapes. You know, we got a cube, a sphere, a cylinder, a cone, and a plane. So let's go ahead and add an object to our environment. So we go shapes. I'm going to click on this cube. So you can click on it and it'll just drop it into the middle of the environment. Let's go back. So I'm going to go back to that add button up here with the little plus, green plus. I'm going to go back to shapes and I'm going to click and hold on the cube and drag it out. You see that? Two different ways to drop it in. And it just depends, right? Like I know I want this cube up here maybe, then I'll do that. Maybe I need another cube, you know, maybe on this back one over here. I don't know. It's up to you. So this is just a kind of a cool, quick way just to get objects where you need to so you can start messing with them, you know, right away. Right? So then you can drag these up, place them right on. Oh, how? So up at the top, we go to the add button at the top left. You go down to shapes, right? So there's a bunch of options here, but these are all actors that you could place in your environment. But we want shapes. And we come out to cube, sphere, cylinder, cone, and plane. So you can click and drag it out. Or you could simply go to the shape itself and click on it once. And it'll just drop it kind of in the middle of your view. What about color cubes? That's going to be in some materials lessons, so we'll definitely get there next time. We'll show you all about that. Don't worry. That whole class will be all about materials, and you'll have enough to play with there. Colors are advanced texture. Yeah, colors are an advanced topic. No, it's just I want to show you a whole lesson on materials, which we'll talk about color, things like that. Okay. No jumping ahead. No, you're good. You're good. You're good. I might even show you a material maybe at the end real quick just so you can kind of understand it a bit. The materials are the worst. Oh, are they? Okay, well then you're going to have fun on the next one. All right, so now that you have some objects in here, you could see that they populated in our outliner. So you add something into the editor, it appears in the outliner. So that's how we're getting objects into our outliner. I'm not adding something to the outliner. I'm adding something to my scene, and the outliner is tracking everything that's there. And so these little stars here, you could see how it's like something that I've moved or added to the scene that is new. This lets you know what is new in the environment. So all these things right here are things that I just added or I manipulated and it's letting me know that they're not really saved in the scene yet because I haven't hit the save button yet. So let's say all these new objects, I want to add them to a folder. I could see them here, but I want to organize them, right? I want to organize them just the way all these other objects are also organized. So I can come in here and click my object. I hold shift and then click, and I can select them all. I can also, though, do that in the outliner. I can come to the ones that I know are new. Let me hide some of this stuff to bring it up. So I can come here and hit control this time. That way I can click different ones, right? So if I were to hold shift here and click, it would highlight everything in between. But if I hold control, I can click around and it'll allow me to select different ones, basically without selecting everything in between. So while I have them selected, there's a little folder icon at the top right. I can click that and it'll automatically throw everything into a folder. And I'll just say new shapes. Oops. Right? So boom, there you go. Now I have everything nice and neat inside of a folder. So I was told at first to always do control plus shift plus S instead of control. Which one is better? I think it's like save all. Yeah, because you'll save everything in your project. So I'm answering Dino's question here about how to save a project. So Control Shift S is saving everything, not just the level itself, but like all the files that have been manipulated in your Unreal Engine project itself. But one saves all. Right, so yes. If you hit the save button here, you'll hit basically it's like save the level. But you can come here to save all, and it'll save everything that you've manipulated in the project. So your level is what we're looking at here. This is a level. And if you come up top to here where it says third person map, there's a little level icon here. That's your level. So third person map template here is your level. So it'll save this when you hit the save button or shift S or control S, I'm sorry. But if you want to save everything in your project, you hit save all or control shift S and it'll save everything. Yeah, if you find like you're manipulating your project and you do something and you only save to the level and you end up missing something, it's probably because you didn't save all. So yeah, definitely a discrepancy there. During your project, just come here, save all, just to make sure you're doing it, or hit control shift S to save all. We are learning. Yeah, brains expanding. Yeah. But that's what that means. So if you didn't know what the difference was, there you go. Yeah, Dino, I just kind of save all most of the time. Yeah, you can quickly hit save level just to kind of save your work, but then definitely come back and hit save all. Yeah, save all. All right, so let's keep pushing. So we have now some objects in our outliner, and we have them in a folder, nice and neat. I can right click on that folder and I can go to select, and I could do all descendants or immediate children. Basically selects things that are in the folder. So if I have folders and stuff, immediate children will just select things that are within this one main folder. But if I want to select everything in that folder, I go to all descendants and it selects everything in that folder. And now I can move that around. Yeah, just like that. So it's a quick way to select everything that's in that folder. And that's another reason why it's good to organize. So if you're just dropping a bunch of assets randomly in here, you won't be able to have, a quick access to like selections. And it's a really good way to select. So again, folders are going to be your best friend here. You could stack folders inside of folders as well. So you can really organize super well. Let's see what else we got here. So now let's look at a little bit of what we got at the top bar here, so we can kind of see what other things we can look at. So right now we're in perspective mode. Perspective mode is basically just your view, a real-time view, like looking with your eyes here. just normal, how you would normally see things. But this perspective mode can be changed, and this is super useful when you're designing more intricate environments. So, one really cool one to have is top view. So let's check that out. Top view lets me look at my environment from the top, like super just like flat. It lets me look exactly what I have in my environment from a top view, so that I can really move things carefully and more intricately, so I know exactly where some things are at. You might want to look through a different view. So let's go to like a right view, and now you can look at things through the side. And again, same thing. Maybe you're moving a platform or something and you want to match it up directly on top of something else. There you go. Now you can bring it down. So super useful. And I'm moving the same way here. So I'm actually right clicking in the view here and just moving the screen around. So this is not a 3D view. This is just like a 2D view from the side or the top or right or bottom, whatever. But I'm using a right click to look around. So super useful when you're trying to be like really kind of more accurate about something. So you can, again, and I can use the same kind of maneuvering the axes the same way on these objects, the little gizmos. I can click on that little square outline on the gizmo, and I can move it and stack it on top of something. There you go. Boom. No problem. Same thing. I can select this and move it as well right next to this guy. All right. So that makes sense, right? Didn't even know this existed. Oh. Well, good. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Thank you. So let's go back. So I am in perspective mode. Reminds you of Blender a bit. I mean, 3D programs all have something similar. They're 3D programs. They are going to manipulate objects in the same way with the axes, and it's an X, Y, and Z type thing, right? So you're moving things and manipulating them in a 3D space. The differences between Blender and Unreal, though, is Blender is a 3D modeling program where you can author assets and objects, whereas Unreal Engine is a place to create games with those 3D objects you design from Blender. So Unreal Engine is a game engine for building games with 3D objects you make in Blender or Maya or 3ds Max, etc., etc., etc. All right, so we've been working in perspective mode. And if you want to get a different view of things so you can see how accurate you are, it's hard to get a good view of things in perspective mode. You might look at something and you're trying to get like perfect, like, did I match this up correctly? Is it sitting right on top? It can get really annoying. So if you want a really quick view to see how things are stacked on top of each other or next to each other, go to the top left and click on the word perspective, and you'll find different modes here. These are called orthographic modes now that I'm looking at it here. So I'm going to go to the top mode so I can view everything from the top in a 2D view. I can zoom out with my mouse wheel. I can zoom in with my mouse wheel. I can right click and hold in the editor, and I can move it around. My objects are still here, and I can come to the viewport, the outliner, and select an object, and it'll be represented in my editor right here. All right, so it goes the same way in all of these. I can click and they get selected here in my editor. All right, so let's say I want to move one of these cubes and I want to move it next to this guy here. So I do that. So in my top view, it looks great. It's right next to this cube. But if I'm not mistaken, if I go back to perspective mode, I only saw the top. So it's actually embedded inside of this block here. So let's go to a different orthographic view. Let's go to the left side. Now I can see that it's actually lower than the other cubes, right? So I'm going to lift this up and put it next to that one. Now I'm going to go back to perspective, and there you go. Now it's right next to it. So super useful when you're just trying to design a really kind of like linear, accurate way. If you're doing more organic design, you could just kind of move things around. But for the time being, this will really help you just to kind of get an understanding of the viewport of the editor here, especially if you're still struggling a bit with like looking around and moving around. You can use those orthographic modes to get a really handle on where your objects are in your scene. I'll be honest with you, if you don't play video games a whole lot, you're gonna have some issues finding to move around. It really plays like a 3D game. So if you ever played, some game where you're just flying around, zipping around, in this way, you're gonna have a little bit of issues if you have not. Can you make those cubes? How do you make the cubes is what you're asking? So yeah, top left, there's a little white cube with a plus button. If I click on it, I can add objects to my scene here. I go down to shapes. I go over to cube, and I can click and hold on this cube word, and it'll bring in a cube into my environment, and I could set it down here. Just like that. Hopefully you saw that, Pamela. Yeah. There we go. Combine them into one. That's more manipulating the model itself. I mean, so let's keep pushing. So I'm going to show you something where you can combine them or change the shape of this. So right now we're in a lit mode. You won't really need to mess with all of these too much, but basically lit mode just means this is the lighting that we have here is being represented. We can also go to unlit mode if the lighting is kind of harsh or dark or you can't see anything. You can do an unlit mode. You won't really mess too much with these wireframe ones. I know we had a wireframe mode in the top view and all these other orthographic ones, but you could actually change it. So if I'm on the top mode and I want to see what the actual world looks like, I can go to lit mode and it'll show me what the world looks like from a top perspective. That's lit. Yeah, Zombie Rob, that is totally lit. Absolutely. So we can go to the right. We can go to the left. We can go to the bottom. So if I go to bottom view, that's the base of it. So we can't see anything because the thing's in the way. But if I go to wireframe mode, now I can see everything. So take advantage of these different viewing modes depending on your perspective or your view, so you can look at your environment through different angles. So that's how you use those two together, perspective and these other orthographic modes, and then change it from lit to wireframe depending on what you need to see. All right, that makes sense? All right, let's go back. Let's keep pushing. The show button here, you can, bring up like a grid. So there's like a grid we could see. You can't see it too much, but there's a grid here. You could turn it off. Basically it's just a way to turn things on and off. So you can just like look at your game environment in a clearer way. I'll be honest, we don't have a lot going on right now. So we don't really need to turn off like the fog or decals, things that would get in the way of you building. So that's what the show is. Scalability, if you're having issues running this and maybe it's running super slow, bring this down a bit so you can run it, faster. Right now I'm on high, so it's like, decent graphics and decent quality here. But you can set it to epic or cinematic if you want to see just like what it looks like at a really decent render. But medium to high will be fine just for working in a building, so you don't get so bogged down with higher graphics. Scalability, yeah, I don't think it's on by default either. I think there's a different way to bring it up. Where was it? Yeah, there's a different way to bring it up though. Light mixer. Oh man, I forgot where to find it. But you're right. I don't think it is on by default. Scalability not on yours. Yeah, we can look it up here. Let's look it up here after the show, and I'll spend a minute bring it up with you. Yeah, let's. Yeah, I know we had to turn it on. Yeah, you're right. But let's keep pushing. Just get through some of these easy things. So for now, we've looked at when you select an object, we get this gizmo here where you can move things, right? On the top right, there's more that you can go through. So now I can actually rotate this object. So that gizmo changed. So you can select between move, rotate, and scale. So let's look at what each one does. So move, right? We saw that. Move an object. We can go to rotate. If we click on one of the circle axes, we can rotate along those axes. Right? And then this one here. And then scale allows us to scale this object. So Pamela asked earlier, can we merge them? Like make this shape bigger? Well, you can actually just scale the shape itself, right? So you select one of these axes and you pull it and you can stretch it out. Right, so boom, now we have an even larger cube. So yeah, pretty simple, pretty straightforward. So if you messed up or you don't like your results, you can hit Control Z to go back to a step before. All right. And you can also, all right, so I manipulated here. Now let's take a look. So once I select this, there's also settings here in the details panel that show me information about the object, right? And you'll notice here, you'll see the same things: location, rotation, and scale. So it's kind of connected to these things up here. So if I'm on the move tool, I'm moving its location, right? And you can kind of see here the numbers move, right? So I move this way, the location numbers move. If I go to the rotate tool and I rotate this, the rotation numbers change here. If I go to scale and I scale this, the scaling numbers change here, right? So as we're manipulating the object through its location, rotation, and scale, it's being represented here in this details panel. And every object has its own details panel. So I click on this object, these numbers are different. This one, these numbers are different, right? So the location on it changes because it's in a different part of the world, of the environment. If at any time you want to undo and go back, there's this tiny little arrow next to each one: rotation, location, rotation, and scale. You can click on that little arrow and it'll reset it back to kind of a default location, back to 0, which 0 is here outside of our editor here, or along outside of this little environment here. So I'm going to bring it back right there. So there we go. We manipulated it and reset all of its the edits that we made to it. Yeah. All right. So now let's go over to these. I guess what do you call these? These are sort of like kind of snapping functions, we'll call them. So right now, all of these are turned on. And basically, this grid right here is like snapping. Let's bring this outside, actually, so we can kind of see it for real along the grid here. So what this means is right now, my grid is set to 10, or the snap. So when I move this, you can see how it's moving perfectly along the grid in tens, right? So if I made this bigger, so I can click on the 10 number here, go to 50. Do you see how the grid changed suddenly? Now if I move this, it's moving in by 50 units. Let's move it back. Now if I go to 100, the grid changed again. So we know right now that this cube is 100 units, right? If I center it perfectly on the grid, or actually it's not locked in that direction. It is this direction though. So you can see it's moving over 100 each time. And so you could go up to 1,000, super huge. You see that it just jumps from its placement. So let's go back to 10. How did I make the grid change without looking at? Yeah, you can increase there's probably a shortcut to increase the grid size, but you can come here to change the grid sizes at any time. And if that little grid icon is blue, that means it's on, it's turned on. So, right, if I set this to something big like 100, it's moving in large increments, right? But if I turn this off by clicking on that blue icon and I turn it off, I could just move it smoothly now. No big deal. All right. But if I turn it back on, once again, it's locked. What do you misplace an object? How do you locate it? If you misplace an object, you know, like let's say this cube is outside. I'm in my environment. How the hell do I find it? You really got to know the name of the object. If you know that it's called cube 5, you can search for it in the outliner here on the right. You can click on it. One of the easiest things is just to look around the map. Look around and you say, oh shit, there's the cursor. Okay, cool. There's my object outside the environment. But if you're just truly like, man, I cannot find that thing at all, select it and then hit F on the keyboard and it'll shoot you straight to the object. All right. So unless you know what the name of the object is, or you can find it in your outliner, right, like I said, hit F on it, or select it in your outliner and hit F, yeah, like Linkoid said, to focus on it. Yeah. Hope that helps. All right, so I'm going to delete this now. All right, so I'm going to keep going with the top here. So rotation, I can also lock the rotation. So we're on snap right now. You can see here it's moving in tens. Yeah, Pamela, so you can find it in the outliner and look for it and then bring it back. Unless you accidentally deleted it, then you'd have to place another object. All right, so I can do the same with my rotation. So I can go to 45 degrees and rotate it 45 degrees. If I turn it off, though, I can then rotate smoothly, no problem. Same thing is represented with scale. So right now the scale is locked to 0.25 in scaling. You can see a little snap here and there. You can make it bigger. So let's go to scale by 1. All right, it's a bigger snap. And if I turn it off, then I can just scale smoothly. Yeah, no problem here. All right. So I'm going to go back to 0.25. And now, so all of these right now are locked and turned on. And so my scaling is locked. My rotation is locked to a certain number. And so is my movement by 100 units. All right, so that's what those mean there. So the last one here is your camera speed. If you're just zipping around, so I'm going to raise this up super high. If you're just like, holy crap, you know, you're just like going crazy. And you're like, man, I'm just like zipping by my assets. And I can't focus. And this is just too much. Your camera speed is probably insane. So you can click on the little camera icon on the top right and lower this down. All right. Lower it down. Usually a camera speed below 1 is good for that matrix. Yeah, something lower than 1 is good for like working immediately, like here in your view. If you have a large map, sometimes you need to speed up so you can get from one location to another. But what I like to do, a shortcut for me, is while I'm holding right click in the editor and looking around, I scroll on my mouse wheel down. And you say, what the hell is it doing? But watch. All of a sudden, I'm moving super slow now. If I scroll on my mouse wheel up, I start to speed up. Right? Even faster and faster. If I scroll down, I'm still holding right click and I'm moving around. But while I'm holding the right click, I scroll the mouse wheel down. And you can see the numbers here shifting. Now I'm at 0.14. If I scroll up, now I'm at 0.55. Right? So while I'm right clicking and holding, scroll the mouse wheel and you slow the camera down. So another little tip. All right, moving on to the next icon here. If I click this button on the top right, I can basically expand into 4 different views, 4 different panels. If I click on that same icon again, it puts me back into a full view for that window. So I can choose a window here, right? So I can choose this one. It makes it full on my editor here. If I go back on it, it shows me all 4 again. So this is a really cool way for, like, if you want to work in your perspective mode, doing things, and you're like, cool, I'm designing, this feels good, and you're like, wait, I need to be way more accurate about placing my cube. Well, you have a view here, right? And you can change them. So this one could be top view, and it goes the same way, right? So there's these selections at the top, the same thing, right? Just like the way we had in our full view, all these buttons at the top: perspective, lit, show, scalability, which we'll find here in a moment for you guys, and all the movement tools, scaling, rotation, locking, the grid snapping, all that stuff stays there, but it's just a different window. So you could have top, you could have, let's do left side here. Here we go. Right. And it's kind of interesting. These are kind of like connected a bit because they're in this orthographic mode. Yeah, you should be able to pop a view out so you can like manipulate them as well. So you can change the sizes of them and manipulate them. And you can even have extra windows. So you could go to, let's see, details, outliner, viewport. So you could even add an extra one and drag it out. And you can, put this on your second screen or something or whatever. Yeah, you can do whatever you want with this extra screen. And you have it again, infinite, the matrix here. You can do the same thing over and over and over to get as many unique views of your editor here. You can exit out of this and close it. Just go back to Windows at the top, go down to viewports, and you can open up a new viewport here with these buttons. So my main viewport is viewport 1, and then viewport 2, 3, and 4, that's what I was activating. So when I click viewport 2, I get an extra window, and I could use this for something. So maybe I have maybe I have like a wide view here, and then I'm working in detail here, and then I'm working in even more detail down here. So like I can move this way, and then I can move it here in my perspective, and you can see that it's updating on all viewports. So it doesn't matter where you're at. Yeah. All right. That's good. That's good. It's fun. It's fun. All right. We're doing all right. All right. So we're almost at an hour and a half, guys. But I'll keep going just a little bit longer. But essentially, we're just kind of learning how to manipulate the viewport. There's so many options and so many things to consider. I don't really want to overwhelm you. But the thing is, too, is that we'll continue learning about the viewport here and the editor, outliner, and all this stuff as we go on, right? So there's a lot of things to consider, but basically, like even with the material section, timing, yeah, I know I got y'all here for a little while, and I don't want to unload, an insane amount, but we learn as we go, and there's a lot to consider as we're building things. So I haven't even got into the content drawer yet. What the hell is this? Oh my God. What the hell is the content? So when we add our own objects to the to Unreal, we're going to add them here to the content drawer, right? So right now we've just been manipulating assets in the editor, right? So these are just objects from Unreal Engine, right? So we just gone up here to the top. We went to shapes and we add a cylinder. There's a cylinder. We go to the top again to the little plus button. We go to shapes. We go to cone. And now we added a cone. So on and so forth. You could do lighting. So you could add a variety of lights here. Usually the most popular for your environment here are point lights and rectangular lights. So let's add a little light. Here we go. Now we have a light here in our scene. And again, when you click on an object, the details panel on the right describes information about that object, right? So if I click on the light, there you go. We have intensity of the light. We have a color of the light. All right. We're going to make a honeybee strip club here in a moment. Just got to light the scene real quick. So, and you can manipulate the objects by using that details panel that we were looking at. So all the objects in your scene are manipulated in a similar way, right? So we click on it, can find information in the details panel here on the right. Down below is information about it. So if you can manipulate it, it'll be shown there. So for us, location, rotation, and scale on these objects, you can manipulate it here. All right, you see that? I'm going to undo this by hitting Control Z. I can manipulate it by going to scale at the top right and scaling it here. All right? So it's being manipulated in the same way. So I'm going to hit Control Z again. And then here's rotation. Right? But I can also go to the top, hit the rotation tool, and rotate it here as well. So multiple ways to manipulate an object. I'm going to undo real quick. Hit Control Z to undo. Actually, the color of the light. So again, if you click on an object, you'll see details for that object on the details panel, right? So here's the details panel. And here it is. So light color right here. I click on that. It brings up this color picker. And then you can manipulate the color here. You can make it darker. Yeah, change the saturation of it. Or just move it along here. In the center, it's pure white. And the outside is high saturation. Again, pure white in the middle. And you drag it out to add saturation. Ooh, you made a thing. All right. Okay, let's go. All right, so who's been following along? If you made something or if you added shapes to your scene, I want to see you post a screenshot in the chat here. Let's get it. Let's get it going. Oh, we do. We do. Okay, so here in the camp, game dev camp category, there's a class gallery section. Yeah, let's post your art there so it doesn't get lost in the chat. So Law, thank you, sir. You were an absolute legend. Let's get Shut up. MDF with the Dirty Dancing reference. Amazing. Can we get you to post that in the gallery, sir? Oh my god. Law said it's art. Yeah, so good. All right, yeah, let's okay, if you have some artwork, please post it in the class gallery. All right? Please post it in the class gallery. That includes you, MDF. Nice. So look there, changing the colors of things. Okay. Laldasol made this like spiky haired Bomb character from like Mario. It's kind of what it looks like. I like it. Croc, okay. You got a lighting in there. You put some cubes around. That's cool. It can be anything, right? It doesn't matter. I just want to see you put objects down, a light, anything, just something, right? We're not doing anything here to test you or to critique your work. I just want to see you doing stuff. Like Deposit, hey, he had some assets, right? Okay, that's fair. And he's just putting them around in the environment. You know, to me and what Croc did, honestly, is similar. There's not much of a difference. He has custom assets, right? Deposit, but it's no different from moving around an object or an actor like the way Croc did. It takes the same amount of effort, you know? So it doesn't matter what assets you're using. It's just about, you know, interacting with the interface just to show us, you know, what's going on and what you're doing. So kudos to everyone here showing some work so far. If you've been vibing and just hanging out and listening, okay, that's fair. Cool to you too. Yes, that's Unreal Haifa. Yes, thank you. With the cheese head flinger. CDN, I see you. Did you post CDN? Let's see. CDN, if you could post in the class gallery, would love to keep track of all the work. Let me see. Lincoln with the blank, with just the blank grid there. Yeah, that's fair. You open the project. That's what matters, Lincoln. That's what matters, you know. You're in. Thank you, CDN, for sharing that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This is what we want, folks. We want you just interacting with the interface. Look, you put some objects down. You learn how to move them around, manipulate them. You could build something with these, right? So if your snap mode is turned on still, you know, let's go to 10 here. So if you're still shy about sharing something, look, I'm gonna build something with you real quick. Let's get these blocks. And look, if you don't want to keep adding cubes, do this. Hold the Alt key and click on the arrow here, and while you're holding Alt, drag the arrow and you will copy, right, to get a different shape. Right? So you could do that. Or you can hit the scale tool, and if you have your scaling snap turn on, you can scale this. Oh, I think they're tied together. Yeah. Let me just delete one actually, so it doesn't confuse it. But you can scale the object here just like this, and that way you can make like a wall, right? So boom, right? We got one here. And I'm going to copy this. You can also hit Control C and then hit Control V and paste. And you made a copy. When you're moving an object, can you hold the key to prevent the object from passing through or into other objects? I don't know. That's a good question. It's like a collision thing. I think if maybe you have some sort of a... I don't know. I don't know if there's maybe a collision thing to... Do you know that one, Haifa? You know, I never thought about that too much. Like when you're designing with 3D stuff, I'll be honest, I'm usually smashing stuff together. Like I usually, honestly, things are always touching. Unless you're on a snap on the grid, then they will be touching, but they will not be intersecting. So if you're working on the grid, you don't have to worry about that. But the minute you go off the grid, then you know you will get a bit of merging, a little bit, things like that. But if you're on a grid, you know, you might not have to worry too much. Yeah, so let's say I have one wall. I'm going to rotate this, and then I'm going to move this and put it right here. I'm going to copy it again. So I'm going to click on it. I'm going to do Control C. And then Control V, and I'll copy it and I'll drag it around like this. And again, you could also select the object, hold Alt, and drag with the arrow, and that'll also copy it. All right, and then we can scale this. I'm going to move it this way. I'm going to copy this. All right. And now we have like a room. We have a little room. All right. And now if I copy this. So I'm holding Alt and I'm moving the axis to copy the object, okay? Now I'm going to go to Scale. All right. And I'm going to drag this out and I'm going to make it smaller. Go to Move. Drag this down. Now I have a roof on here. I'm going to make this a little bigger. Just like that. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but it's something, right? N key drops an object down to its nearest collider. Yeah, that's a good point too. Yeah, so if you have an N key on your keyboard, it'll drop an object like down, like right on the surface of another object. Yep. But again, if you're taking advantage of the snapping function here, then you can just move it along the grid, and yeah, it'll just be like right on the surface of things. But the minute you turn this off, though, be careful, because if I move this just a little bit while the snap is off, and then I go back to snap, it's completely off because it's going to move 10 units from its current position. So make sure you don't, or make sure that in the location or on the details panel, this is at an even number. Because if this is like at 52, so I put this at 52 right here, and then move it with the snap turned on, it's going to move 10 units on that. So you could even see here, location is now 62. So if I put it at 60, right, I just typed it in and I hit enter. And now I go back to here. Now it evens up and it's back on the grid again. Yeah, it snaps from its current location. And yeah. So you can manipulate it still. Yep, correct. But yeah, there we go. So we're learning how to move stuff. So shortcuts, now that you know how to move those different tools, with those different tools, you can hover your mouse over those little options. It'll tell you shortcuts. So move is W, rotate is E, scale is R. So that's how I was kind of quickly moving an object, then rotating an object, and then scaling an object is using W, E, and R. So if you can get a hang of it, you can hit E to rotate, W back to move. And I could bring this down, move it, hit E again to rotate, so on and so forth. Yeah, so you can quickly merge these objects. So let's say I have a couple of objects here. Let me drop down some more cubes, right? So I got a few objects here. Let's see, shapes. And let's say just have this like interesting setup of different shapes. And I want to maybe have an option where I can kind of like copy these. I can select all these, right? Hold shift and select them all and hit Control G, or right click and go to group. And now that I grouped them, they just move together now. Oh, there we go. So I can click off of here, click back on it, and they're still grouped together. If I want to break up the group, I can go back to right click, groups, and ungroup, or I hit Shift G and it'll ungroup those objects back to solo. Yeah. Oh, that makes sense. All right. So basically just wanted you moving and manipulating objects for this class session, and just understanding how to move to the editor. The tricky part for some people who don't know or don't have a lot of experience with even gaming and stuff is they're going to have a hard time moving in the editor because it plays like a game, it feels like a game. You look around and use WASD to move the camera. And so the challenge here for you is to just maneuver the editor, zip around and fly around in it where you're comfortable enough to just set up something, put down some shapes, build a little house. Act like they're Legos, build, use these blocks to create a doorway, anything, a room, a little house. Try your best at, manipulating the objects to do your own thing. And that's what I want to see. So please post in the class gallery. I'm catching up now. Law, very good design, sir. And I hope that's accurate to scale. Yeah. Robsco, nice. I like that. Oni with the little character, very cool. Yeah. I'm debating whether to give Law his badge for today based off of his design. Oh my goodness, you guys are crazy. Oni, yeah, good job. I'm gonna, let's see, open a browser. So I'm going to show some here on screen. All right, here's Oni's. Here's Robsco. Cool, with the light on top. Yeah, there you go. Again, you guys are just diving in and learning. So, you know, it's all about just feeling it out. Don't Linkoid. Okay, yep. This is exactly what we want to see. This is it. This is it. Placing objects. You got a nice environment, a lot of space to run around in. Some color. All right. So this is CDN again. Just place some objects around. Deposit master. He had some custom objects, so he placed those around. And Croc as well. Place some objects and some lights. Law again with his first run with this object here. Cool, the little goggles and the spiky hair. And Alethera with a really cool setup here with a bunch of random colors. I love the green. I love green. So this is a lot of fun. All right, so Law gonna make an asset pack? No, I'm curious of what Law's asset pack's gonna look at. I didn't show it on the stream because, oh man, YouTube is gonna strike me. Yeah. All right. So what are we thinking, guys? We're closing this off. You know, I want to get your thoughts. Is there any questions you have? Let's see. Maybe we can get a. Let's see. We have Haifa, who's pretty good. You know, in Unreal and 3D. We've seen his work. So if he wants to come up, maybe we can have them come up and say some few words. Linkoid has been working in Unreal. If you want to come up and say some words. But again, if you have questions, definitely let us know. Yes, yes. Let's do that right now. Let's do that right now. All right. So, yes, thank you. Thank you. All right. Let's go. The link is there. And the code is right here. So do not share it outside of here. Please go claim the badge. And keep it secret. Keep it to yourself. It'll be open for a little bit, so go claim it right now. Sick. Also, let us know what your experience is claiming a badge on OS Wiki. And if you enjoyed your time there, let us know. Yes, keep it secret. Keep it safe. Yo, Haifa, what's up? Yo, yo. Cool. Cool. Nice. No colors allowed. No colors. Yeah. Yeah, right on. Yeah, it's one of those things where like it's just so much to Unreal, but like I really think you learning how it works, you know, first, even from the get go, like Epic Launcher. How the hell do I get the version of Unreal that I want? What if I want assets? Go to the marketplace. You know, we covered all these things in the beginning, and they are pretty critical. You know, it's like I don't want to pass up anything that could be utilized, you know, by someone who's completely new and just doesn't really know. So it's a bit of a challenge. I don't want to bore anyone, you know, with like super intro stuff, but again, we don't want to miss any opportunity for the new people, and hopefully along the way there's something for you know, for newcomers to or for more, people who are comfortable to like get some knowledge, so they can kind of make use of it later. So yeah, main thing is learning how to manipulate the viewport, moving through it. If you're not a big gamer, this is going to be a challenge for you. But again, I know. Most of the time you're just zipping around, looking around. Like if you have a hard time with that, oof, man. It's gonna be some work. We talked about how to place objects, right? So go to the top left here at this add to project little button right here with the cube and the plus. You could go to shapes, click a shape, you could drag it out, drop your shape. If you need a light, you could do the same thing here. Grab that point light, drag it out. Now you have that there. You want to manipulate them, you could W, E, or R to manipulate those objects. Scale them out. Scaling out the light kind of messes with how far the brightness reaches. Scaling on a shape, obviously we've seen we could scale the shape just like that. Rotating it, obviously you don't want to rotate a sphere, but you can rotate this cube here. Go back to W, hit and get the movement, or the this movement tool here. So up at the top you can also select them. So move, rotate, and scale. Or you get the shortcuts with W for move, E for rotate, R for scale. And just mess around with that. Learn how to fly around, place some objects down, smash them together, build yourself a little hut. Show us where you live in this 3D palace. Yeah. Great first lesson. Thank you. Awesome. Good. So I think it'll speed up pretty quickly. So next class is going to be materials. I'm going to show you how to get into the content browser. Here's what we'll start off with and how to work this essentially. We'll put our materials and our objects inside of here. So this is where things exist. So this third person map, this level that we're flying in, it exists down here. All right. So you can also hit the play button up here, right? And this character that you can play as and run around in is also in that content browser down at the bottom. So all the objects pretty much exist. These shapes that we brought in are, all the assets. Exactly. And these shapes though are like sort of generated by Unreal. So there is a default shape in the content browser that represents these, but we're accessing them just through this quick drop menu. But you can also find the sphere in the content drawer. See here? There's the sphere. If I go to the cylinder and I go to the static mesh in the details panel, it tells us what that object is made of, and it is made of this cylinder. There we go. There's the cylinder. So on and so forth. So go to the cube. I go to the cube here in the details panel. Click the little spyglass, the folder. And there you go. There's the cube represented in the content drawer. Yeah. Exactly. It's in your outliner. It's in your world here. And it's in your content drawer. So it's existing in a variety of places. Outliner is just organizes your scene. And the scene is made up of objects that are in your content drawer. I can drag this cube out, literally, into my environment. And here it is again, the same cube. Or I can go to the top, go to shapes, drag out the cube. And it's the same cube, same thing. I don't want to, we'll talk about the content drawer next time. But I think this could be good enough for you to get started throwing objects down, moving around, lighting up a scene, and getting comfortable. So, how are we feeling, guys? Any other questions? Did I go too fast? Is the pacing okay? I'm thinking about everyone here. Huh? Shit! Oh, shit! No. It was perfect. Thanks. Great pace. Good. I love this. Love it. Thank you for the lesson. Thank you for the lesson. Really enjoyed it. And give all those heart emojis. So much love. Great first lesson. Huge thanks. Pamela says she loves it. Awesome. Dev said it's perfect. Thanks. Pace was good. Great pace. Great class. Awesome. Oh, I see an otter in the chat. Let's go. Thanks for joining, Otter. All right. I'd fall behind, but I kept up and feel accomplished. All right, cool. I love that. That's my favorite comment. Law of the saw. I was worried I would fall behind, but I kept up and I feel accomplished. Good for you. Yeah. So we can go to the add button, add to project button at the top left, go down to shapes. I can click on this cube just by clicking it. It'll appear here in the middle. Or I can also go to shapes, right? Click and hold on the cube. And as I'm holding, I could drag it around and then place it wherever I want to. But I know the information about this cube in the details panel on the right. And I could see that this cube is made up of this cube right here, this static mesh, which we'll learn about more, right? But I know that this cube is made by this cube right here. And if I click this little spyglass with the folder, it'll show me where in the content drawer it exists. So if I click on this and hold, I can also drag it out from here. And if I go back to the content drawer, I'm still in this folder, engine, right? On the left, it says engine, content, basic shapes. So that means I can click on these other shapes and drag them out too. I go back, here's the cone, drag it out again. Or I can go back to the add to project button at the top left, go to shapes, and I go to cylinder, drag it out, and now I have my shape here. I knew how to work with blueprints, but now I know how to work with objects too. Yeah, I mean, and that's, okay, look at that. That's a really good example right there, Deposit just said. If you're a dev or a programmer, you're going to be more comfortable with that sort of thing. If you're an artist, you'll be more comfortable manipulating objects and scenes. So it's really going to depend upon what type of person or game dev you are. So really think about that. As you're moving through this class, you know, and what we're doing here is more on the art side for now, because we're basically just interacting with the interface, and it's easier, you know, for now to do what we're doing here, just manipulating objects. So as you're doing this, though, you might be more on the dev side, and, you know, you might start looking at the object or the material on it. And, you know, you can open that up by double clicking on things, right? So we can open up the material. And this is the material that makes up that object. We have the color here. And the roughness is basically telling us how shiny this is. So this is what we're going to do next class, materials. And we have a little example here of the object. I can turn down this roughness to 0. And see how it's shinier all of a sudden. Let me make this bigger so you can see. If I turn the roughness up to 1, it's completely flat and not shiny. If I go to, we love the shiny. Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. If I go to 0.5, it's a little rough. But this is what we'll do next class. So we'll do some custom materials. And, you know, we'll learn how to make a bunch of them. And learn how all these other ones work. Metallic, specular. We can even do some like glowing emissive stuff. So we'll definitely get into that. But you know, I did not set it up on there this time around. So I don't have an event set up with the code. Yeah, sorry about that. We can coordinate maybe for next time and get it aligned. You hearing this? Oh, I'm sorry. You know, I don't think I had control over the ApeChain calendar, I think. As I think someone set it up for me. So I'll have to double check. Okay. Nice. Perfect. You hear that, Spin? Can we make fire? So that's an effects, probably using like Niagara. So that's gonna be probably in a later course. But that would be fun. That would be fun. We could definitely mess around with some fire, some effects. Maybe we could do like a little sparkly effect or as well, for to put on the fire. Yeah, let's take a look. But one thing at a time. We want we want to make sure you're learning Unreal at a simple pace, so that way you can get a hang of it. But yeah, these are good suggestions. So visual effects, all right, people are interested in that. He then said metallics, so maybe some interesting materials. Okay, okay. That could definitely go into next class, so I'll keep that in mind, metallics. You cover vectors. Yeah, we could do like I guess vectors like within blueprints, like manipulating like objects with a vector or like color vectors. Yeah, law, we can do next time around we'll drop in an object and mess with its materials. Yeah, we can. So I can like bring in my ape or something and learn how to rebuild its materials. That way, everyone can do the same. Because that's one thing I do so damn much is I bring in an object and the materials are broken, so I have to rebuild the materials. So it's a little crazy, but yeah. Yeah, Moon Spirit. Yeah, we'll find a way to dig into some blueprints, but for now, this is super early base stuff. But I'll keep what you said in mind though for vectors. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yes, I don't know how to import with materials. Yeah, like sometimes it works. Like some GLB files will bring in information enough for Unreal to rebuild a material, but a lot of times, like some FBXs will just like break, and yeah, you'll have to rebuild the material. All right, let's check out the gallery again. I got Croc's got a setup. Oh, looks like Croc built a little platformer game. Let's go. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So if you want another challenge, some homework, build a little platformer game. Do some platforms and hit the play button at the top, and have your character jump in and do a little platformer game. Show me something, right? So if you want something to share, maybe share something on the timeline. Tag ApeCoin, tag render pool, and show us a little platformer setup you design. Put some lights around, move some boxes, and jump on some objects with your character here, and show us that you learned how to manipulate and move some objects. So that could be. Oh, we do. Let's go. Okay. Yeah, go ahead and share that if you have it, or did you share it already? Okay, okay. Let's go. Let's go. There we go. Thank you. Appreciate you, legend. Perfect, perfect. Yeah, I got overwhelmed with the other stuff. I didn't keep up with the calendar. My fault. All right, let's keep showing some. Here's another one. All right. All right, Pamela. Yeah, she plays some objects. She's got a cone way out, way outside in the craziness. Left its home. All right. Oh, okay. Lithira updated. Oh, look at that. Got a purple light in a greenhouse. They made their materials shiny. All right. So they took down the roughness. There we go. There we go. Ooh, Otter made a rocket. Let's go. Nice. Yo, CDN with the little like wormy. Yo, dude, I love this. What? This is amazing. Yeah. Oh, it does look like Snake. Yeah, you're right. So good. So good. MH, try to refresh your page. Oh no, no, the code is session one, MH. Session one. So calendar code. Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Angie. Appreciate you. Thank you, thank you. Yeah. So cool, guys. Look at everything everyone built. Just some silly, fun stuff. I love this. This is great. This is good. Yeah. All right. Got a little volcano action. We got some objects placed. We got another little character here. Alethera's first rendition. Croc's platformer. Yeah, I'd love to see that. If you build a little platformer or something interesting, put some cones underneath the platforms to make it look like spikes, So if you fall, you fall on the spikes. Put some lights that are red to make it look like the spikes are, surrounded by lava or something. There's so many interesting, objects here in this scene. It could be thin objects, like you jump and run along and get to another platform. I'd love to see, a little bit of homework like that, guys. So if you make a little platformer game in your third-person template, please keep building it, and let's do that. So while we have an opportunity here to build something, start sculpting out a platform environment for yourself. How about that? Let's do that. Let's consider a platform environment and sculpt something out that's fun for you to jump around. So right, super simple, right? Think Mario Brothers, Nintendo, early days, and just build out a simple platformer environment. And if you build something cool enough to start, we'll have some assets for you to give to you that you could then replace, right? And make the platformer actually look interesting with some real 3D assets. But we'll get there. We'll get there. We want you to get comfortable with the editor first, and get comfortable with materials, get comfortable with the landscape stuff, and then we'll have some assets for you. I found a site where we can download some asset packs that everybody will have access to. They're free and they're CCO, so you'll have no issues with the licensing on them, so no worries at all. And you can replace the placeholder assets that you have here in your platformer. We'll replace them with actual cool looking low poly assets. How does that sound? We'll build a little platformer for yourself. Does that sound cool? Let me know. Dubs, yes? All right. Okay. All right. This would be the easiest, right? We want to play a game. We want to build the game, right? And I think a platformer would be the easiest thing we could do for now without having to go into blueprints. Let's just make something fun to jump around and kind of make a simple base game with. So a platformer would be the way to go. Let's keep utilizing our classes here as a way to just simply learn Unreal, but we're working towards building a small platformer environment. All right? That's the goal. That's the goal. So let's keep a focus on that. And if you could build something in the meantime from here to next lesson, we'd love to see it. Tag us, the RenderPool accounts on Twitter. Share in the class gallery so everybody here can see it. Maybe you share your progress in the class gallery, and then you have something to show. Post it on Twitter on the timeline and tag us and mention the Game Dev Camp, And that way we can keep up with your progress and you can show everybody what you're learning and what you're working towards, right? So, all right, we hit the 2-hour mark. I think I'm going to round it out here. So if you have any other questions, please drop them in the respective channels. So you can hit me up in the UE ODK General. If you have questions about Unreal Engine, please direct them to that channel. So I can type it here, UE. So this is the channel right here for Unreal Engine questions, right? UE ODK General. Anything about Unreal, drop it in there and I will help you out. Okay. It's Pamela, run. You got to go to the dentist. That's right. All right. I hope this was valuable, guys. I hope you had fun. Again, this is just baseline stuff, not overwhelming. I just want people who are super new to get comfortable without feeling overwhelmed. And maybe if you kind of know your way around, maybe you learned something a little new today that could help you on your journey. But we will keep this up. Next week is going to be materials. So just what we, oops, I'm still in this. Just what we showcase here, the basic material right here to manipulate this object. We will talk about this. So you'll be able to change the look of objects next week with the materials course. All right. So I'm not going to save that for now. So we'll build some materials next time. We'll do metallics. We'll do glowing stuff. We'll do emissives, shiny, plastic, flat, shiny. We love the shiny. Glittery. Yes. Anything you want. We'll make the world shiny and pink. Just we'll get Angie's input here of what kind of materials to make next time. So we got shiny and pink. How do we feel about that? Glittery, shiny, pink. Yeah, yeah. It's gonna go hard. That's what it's gonna do. Yeah. Pink, shiny, glittery. No pink, blue. Okay, blue. Okay. We'll do blue and pink shiny. How about that? So if you haven't done yet, please go to save all, save your work. Please save your file, and be ready for next week. We'll use the same game file to load up next week. That way you don't have to reload a new file, load all this stuff. Yeah, Control Shift S. There you go, J Dung. Yeah, there you go. He's learning. And hey, if you learned something new, hey, share it in the chat. Flex it with everybody here. Help each other out. If there's shortcuts that you've learned, share and help each other out. So we want this to be a collaborative effort. We're all here to build up ApeCoin. We're all here to build up Otherside. So we really need to come together on this as much as we can. We want Otherside to be a really fruitful place for builders. So this course is to get you geared up and building in Unreal Engine for ODK, and in turn building for Otherside. So this is a big group effort here. So hopefully we can all come together, share knowledge, inspire each other, and keep the vibes high. Keep the builder vibes high. We want more builders. We want more experiences. And who knows, maybe one of you down there in the audience is the next game dev that will be jumping into their environment, Imagine that. More community experiences on Otherside. Come on now. That'd be amazing. I'd love to see that. I'd want to jump into one of your worlds one day. All right? More bad. Gmod loves bad. That's right, man. We want more experiences. And if it comes from our community, oh man, even better. Eating even better. I'd love to jump into one of your worlds one day, guys. So this is the way to do it. Learning Unreal, and then eventually getting into ODK. So this is your ticket to it, Show us some Unreal experience, and, this is the way to go. This is the way to do it. Yeah, stoned by nature. Besides games, can I build like a gallery or store? Yes. Here's the thing. Social experiences are being overlooked, A lot of people want to build, like, someone DM'd me and said, I want to build an MMO. And I'm like, brother, chill. Like, you can build an MMO, but think about, doing something fun in the meanwhile while you're learning. In a gallery, a small shop or something. Yes, that's where it's at. Honestly, that's going to go a long way because it's reachable, it's attainable, it's something you can really, really, truly build and do. And you can have other people jump in and enjoy it, with you in a quicker time frame. Because building an MMO, I don't know. It'll be months before I could jump in, So, but all right, guys. So as the chat is slowing down, we don't have any more questions, so I'm going to go ahead and end it here. But thanks so much for joining day one of Game Dev Camp. This has been a treat to hang out with you guys and show you Unreal Engine. It will speed up over time. Oh, was there an issue? I think the badge claim might. Let me double check. Or was he or the calendar, or what's he having an issue with? Yeah. Oh, okay, okay, okay. Gotcha. Ah, I see, I see. Okay, nice, thank you. Yeah, we do have new bots. Shout out to Angie. She has been beasting it, rebuilding the Discord. Um, yeah, shout out to Angie. Give her a dub in the chat. She has been killing it, building Discords for different communities. She built the Discord for the Board Builders Club as well, setting up all the bots, verification, organization of the channels. She's been knocking it out of the park. So we super appreciate her for organizing and moderating. She's been a beast. So thank you, Angie. Appreciate you so much. She said no autographs. Love it, love it. Yeah. Let's go, dude. Yeah, no, this is so good, right? Like we're seeing people actually participating and building. Yeah, I was thinking to myself, who's gonna be here aura farming in our chat? you know, but no, we got some movement in the class gallery. Shout out to Angie for setting up the class gallery. Super good idea. And you know, it's so great to see. Like, you know, I think this simple little idea of a platformer game would be the way to go, so that we're aspiring towards something. And I think this will get people motivated to actually build something too, right? So we have a mission. We're not just clicking random buttons. It's not that we don't know what we're building. Let's build out a small platformer environment, and learning how to manipulate objects and move through the editor is going to be the key to setting up this small, simple game experience. So yeah, we love to see it. Class gallery is piling up. TJ just posted a bomb, freaking like looks like a Roman little palace environment, super little temple. Yeah, with the pink lighting. Let's go. I love it. So think of that, guys. Like, take inspiration from each other. You know, a cool little temple could be an awesome idea for a platformer environment, you know? So consider that. Maybe you're climbing it and getting to the very top. So definitely check out the class gallery for some inspiration from other community members to kind of think about what you want to do. Remember, I was saying use the cones for like spikes and stuff to create these like danger zones. Use red lighting to light the objects for like, you know, red glow for maybe looks like lava or something. And if you're brave enough, you could jump into a material and, you know, maybe make the cones red or black or something. You know, mess around with it. Let that be a little bit of your homework for the week, and you know, get a little baseline environment for a platformer. But we will keep building though. This is not it. So we'll have class 4 is going to be all about world building. So we'll dive further into that. But for the time being, just mess around the editor. Um, and mm-hmm, exactly. Yep. Hit us up in the meantime in there. If you're stuck, if something happened, let us know and I will do my best to guide you. Angie will be there too to fill it in. If you have any questions or something about the Discord, she's going to help moderate here, of course. So she will be on top of it as well. So let us know if you need anything. And we're here for you. And next class, Tuesday, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, same time as this class today. In the Discord, we'll be back for day 2 of going over materials. So we'll learn how to manipulate materials and start giving objects some nice color. There will be 4 main classes, and then a 5th class is a recap for the competition. So the idea is once we get a cool little platformer environment, we will get you to world build on day 4, right? How to add some, decorative assets. Maybe we'll show you how to do some grass. So you can brush on some cool grass around your environment, make it look interesting. Then after day 4, you have a week to design, keep building your environment, your platformer environment. And on day 5, we'll come in and choose the winners. So it'll be a beginner category, an intermediate category, and an advanced category, right? So there'll be TJ touching grass. There'll be 3 categories, right? So if you're really good, go to advanced. If you know what you're doing, go to intermediate. If you're super new and this is the first time you're touching Unreal, go to the beginner category. That way we have 3 winners, all of 3 different skill levels. That way everybody's a winner here, at least, from different skill sets. We don't want to just pick the... Mm-hmm. Go ahead. No. You go ahead. Go ahead. Yep. So, right, just as she explained it, there's an amazing setup in contest submissions. It's ready to go, but you won't add anything there until later, right? So once you start working on your environment a little deeper after day 4, you'll finish your work, and you'll submit it there, and the category that's right for you. So, right, beginner, intermediate, or advanced. So you choose your category, but think about your skill level and where you should be. And yeah, so once you start working and you're feeling like you're done, drop it in there. And on day 5, we'll pick the winners and we'll do a bit of show and tell. We'll hang out, we'll stream the builds, take a look. If you want to come up on stage and share what you worked on, you could do that too. So that's how it'll work. 4 days of learning. 5th day is recapping everything we did and taking a look at the submissions and then picking winners maybe about a day or 2 after that or so. Yeah, does that make sense, guys? 4 days of learning, then a week of you building to get a feel for things, building up your environment, and then we'll have like the winners picked on after day 5 once we do a submissions and then a recap. ODK, like, I'll be honest, deposit, it doesn't really matter. I don't know. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're in 5.5 or that, but like this isn't going to use anything in the ODK. So, I mean, I guess like what Angie said, I don't know. It's maybe unfair to the degree that you might do something that other people can't. But we're just doing artwork here. So if you could just use 5.5 from base Unreal, that would match everyone else here. So this is just, we're not even discussing anything in ODK at all right now. So this is just base Unreal. So if you could stick with that, that would be the way to go. So yeah, I would agree with Angie. Just kind of stick to 5.5, just so that you're kind of like following along with everyone else. Because, yeah, like I said, I'm not really diving in so much on like blueprints or anything in that setup for what's going on in ODK. Eventually we could, but we're not really doing that at the moment. We're just getting people comfortable with the interface. 5.5 is the same interface as ODK, so yeah, it'll be the same. Yeah. Yeah, I don't want anyone flexing on each other. I know some people have ODK access and others don't. This is not what this is about. So just do your thing. Yeah, it's we know. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. Just this is just we're giving art lessons here. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So just focus on Unreal 5.5. We will get to blueprints in a later class or lesson. But for now we're just doing artwork. So yeah. All good. All good. Cool. All right, so it's understood. We will let you go now. Thanks so much for hanging around. You the real ones for sticking around and hanging and chatting with us, listening. Hope it's clear. 4 days of learning with the 5th day of submissions and recap. And then we'll have the competition. Each day we'll have a badge to claim. And if you have all badges, you get a nice shiny certificate. So you are the lucky one. So if you got a badge today, you're on your way. And you're going to get a nice certificate saying you learned something at the render pool. So let's see who can stick all the way through. Are you going to be here? Yes. Yeah, let's see, right? So we're going to pick a random lucky winner to get another deed. I haven't even talked about that. 16,000 ape in prizes? 16,000 ApeCoin in prizes? Oh, won't tell anybody. They won't know. They won't know. Actually, 500 ApeCoin in prizes. No. Well, 16,000 ApeCoin in prizes. One other deed to give away. And badges to claim. And a certificate. Man, y'all are spoiled, man. Can I take this course? I want to be in the audience now. Come on now. Thanks to ApeCoin, Lost, and Spend for the rewards. Can we get a dub in the chat for the ApeCoin team? If not for them, come on. Come on. Tell them, Angie. Tell them. More. More dubs. More dubs. Bigger ones. Love it. Love it. Yeah, without the ApeCoin team, this would not have been possible. So, appreciate them for the rewards. 16,000 in ApeCoin. One other D to give away. Pulling in the community. Communications with them. Sharing from the main accounts. It's quite the treat. Yuga team. Yeah. It does. Delete that, Dev, right now. Delete that. I can win still. Who knows? I'm claiming these badges too, But yeah, man, shout out to ApeCoin team. This has been great. Shout out to my amazing co-host Angie for getting the Discord set up and helping me moderate. So we got a great setup here and hope to keep educating you guys with Unreal Engine. So we will see you on the next one, folks. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Appreciate y'all. They Ape on top. ApeCoin on top. All right, guys. See you later. Catch you in the next one. See you next week, Tuesday, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And remember, work on your game, your platformer environment. All right, that's what we want to see. So keep setting up those objects, manipulating, moving around the environment. It'll be good. All right, guys. Take care. See ya. Bye-bye.